Good morning. We're going to talk about anti-money laundering laws that have just come in effective as of the 1st of July. This is what your buyers and sellers need to know. Episode 1696. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, everyone. Michael Bergio, Billy Drury, episode 1696 of Morning Minutes, new anti-money laundering laws. So AML that you may be hearing on social media has just come into the business of real estate, into the brokering business as well, and solicitors. So instead of being asked, what's your budget? You're also going to be asked, where'd the money come from your real estate agent? Lots changing, but myself and Billy will be talking about it today. Good morning, Billy. How are you?
Good morning, Burge. Yeah, good. I had a couple of transactions towards the end of last week. Now starting to be impacted by these AML checks for short. And, like anything new, I think there's got to be a bit of understanding that, it's the first time we've done it as well. So bear with your real estate agent, have a bit of patience and work together because, we were certainly not the ones that initiated these changes. It definitely means there's a bit more paperwork involved.
Yeah, I think let's first talk about what it is and why, and then on a practical sense, we can sort of go into what we're now having to do with all our current listings and with buyers. So like effectively we get this nice little pretty how-to guide on why it's important.
Yeah.
And one of the headings is property is one of the most common ways criminals attempt to move illicit money. These new laws are designed to protect buyers and sellers from fraud and scams and prevent criminal activity in property transactions. What you may be asked, as part of the process, your agent will verify your identity, e.g. license and passport. We normally do that when we list a property anyway. Confirm ownership or authority to act. Pretty similar to what we already do. But this is where it's a little bit different. Ask questions about the source of your funds. Complete checks against sanctions or risks database. These checks are called customer due diligence, CDD, and must be completed. How we conduct these checks? We use agencies AML to conduct and verify checks described above. Agencies AML is a compliance service provided through our solicitors agency settlements, ensuring your information is handled securely and privacy is fully protected. All right. What this means for buyers and transactions. For buyers, you may be asked where your funds are coming from. Additional checks may apply for higher value or complex purchases. Once verified, your transactions can proceed as normal. For sellers, your identity and ownership will be verified. Your agent may ask questions about the transaction structure. These help ensure a secure and compliant sale. Important to know, these checks are a legal requirement. That's a big thing. It's not a guide if you want to. It's a legal requirement. We have to, or we're in trouble. Your agent must complete and comply with their obligations. Your information is handled in line of strict privacy and regulatory standards. I missed this beginning bit. From the 1st of July 2026, real estate transactions in Australia are subject to anti-money laundering laws regulated by AUSTRAC, AUSTRAC. This means agents must verify who their customers are and where funds come from before completing property transactions. Wow. So I think on one hand, you can look at that bill and go, we already did half that information. We already did half of that. Checked IDs when we're signing agreements and that. But then there's a big half that we never, I would say never did. We would sometimes ask about like Are you selling a property? Is that how you're funding this property? Or little questions like that. But we definitely weren't compelled to do it and could face fines if we didn't ask these questions.
Yeah.
What's talk about just your view on that, and then also what does it mean practically?
Yeah, I mean, the practical side is now we've got another step of admin to do before exchange, and it kind of you kind of, I feel, have to be on board with a bit of a portal to help you navigate this, because there's so much compliance now around it. As you said, it's a legal requirement, so it's not just a case of checking in and like we usually do, just have a quick look and cite the IDs. Now this is like one step further. So there's a little bit more admin there. There are portals that are helping agents set up the right places to put the info in and things like that, because it's pretty sensitive information as well. But I think buyers are probably just going to find they go through this with their solicitor. They do an ID check if they're confirming their sale. They're probably going to then do another one, and it's just ticking a box.
Well, this is right. Your broker has to do it and your solicitor has to do it. And I think I'll just give it straight. I don't like this. I think I know when we had that training, the guy was just like, oh, it's just one quick step. It's one step on another 1,000 steps that we already have to do. And you can already see here, it's to target criminals. Like, since when are we, real estate agents, brokers, lawyers, supposed to be targeting criminals? Like, I just don't like basically that it's the government creating more work, wanting us to basically spy and be suspicious. And I think all this will lead to is bloody like profiling. And a lot of the time it turns into racial profiling. And then that's what we're supposed to be all against. And they just create a system where you're supposed to judge. Like, because if you ask anybody to give you an example of this, it's the Lebanese guy wearing Adidas and driving a Ferrari. Like, it's already, or the Middle East, like they already give it to you in your examples of the profiles. So I don't know how this is good for society. Definitely not good from a paperwork or procedural point of view. And they say we want to be strict and confidential, but it's like we're paying for this. Like, there's $6 charge, 19. Like, there's so many extra costs, which already, especially if you're selling a property because you can't afford it, then just more costs to go on top of it. When it's like, how many more like you've got to do another check when you already had to give your solicitor, your council rates, which have your name on it, copy of your driver's license. Like, now it's just another government database to prove that you did that and charge that you did it.
Yeah, so you can expect to pay
on that.
$6 a check. That's what you can expect to pay. And I know that's not breaking the bank, but that's not the point. It's just another.
But we can agree on this. That's where they got us with all these apps. $6 Netflix, $6 Prime. Independently, none of it breaks the bank. But then when you've got 40 of them, and then where does that leave with more government, more checks? But that's my view on this. But what does it mean? What about listings, Billy? You've got listings now. If you have not sold them, what do you have to do?
Yeah, we've gone back through and sort of informed owners of what's happening, and obviously come exchange or putting a deal together, it's going to be right at the forefront of the paperwork before anything gets executed. So I think just understand that they have come into effect. People, if you're not, I think we're very much in the jar. So we hear about this through our industry all day, every day. But if you're not in the industry, you may not have heard this before. So, it is happening. It has happened from the 1st of July. You're now required to do an ID check, $6. Your agent organizes it. If you've got questions, ask your agent. And
it's not just an ID check. It's ask questions about where the money came from. It's like, it's not as simple as the ID check. It's more the nosing into. And if it looks suspicious, you're supposed to. What's the database? You're supposed to do an anonymous tip. You're
anonymous
supposed to
tip
dob
off.
that client in. If
Yeah,
with all
And-
of our training on money laundering and criminal activity, where if someone's suspicious to us, which everyone's variation of suspicious will be very, very different, they're supposed to dob that in. So don't just minimize it, because it's so much more than that as well.
yeah, and
And don't you have to
Yeah.
get new agencies signed for all our current listings that aren't signed?
yeah, there's variance, like a variation clause going in there. So yeah, I've been in touch with all my clients over the weekend and working through that. But yeah, it's pretty pretty big change. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've seen a big reform like this in quite a long time.
Yeah, but there's been no, I don't think there has been. Like, there's obviously all the buyer guides and pricing, and then this is like changing our agency agreement, so it feels a lot more formal than just having to document your buyer guides different or anything along those lines. Like, so yeah, and we'll see how long, if it's here forever or if it's just here for the next federal election. We'll see.
All right, we'll stay
gotta
tuned.
be done.
There it is.
Thank
There's
you.
the breakdown.